Sifuna.
Speaker, I wanted to make brief comments on the statement that was brought by Senator for Bomet, Wakili Hilary Sigei, on unpaid contractors. Just to inform this House, in the morning, Honorable Speaker, we had a conversation with the chair of COG. The chair of COG is the governor of Wajir, and some of the problems that we were discussing are captured in the conversation that has been initiated by Senator Sigei. Speaker, in fact, one of the clashes that we're having with county governors is that they don't want monies that go to counties to be ring-fenced for specific purposes. But the frustration that is on the ground, and I'm sure our colleague senators will agree, is that whenever we lump the county money in the equitable share, most of the times, the governors do what they want with that money. The governor of Mombasa appeared before us and told us that the reason why the county governments don't want to employ the UHC workers who are outside our gate just now on permanent and pensionable is because they wanted the money that was disbursed under the County Government Additional Allocations Act to be put in the, what is it called, the equitable share. And Chair, the fear is that this money, once you lump it together with the equitable share, most of the things this House wants to see done are not done. In fact, there was a debate here, I don't know if you remember. We wish, as a Senate, we would ring-fence money for payment of contractors. Because this issue of pending bills has gone on for too long. People come to our offices, Honorable Chair, with all sorts of complaints and so on and so forth. So we asked the governor of Wajir, who's the chair of the COG, we asked the governor, why don't you discuss the additional money that this senator has fought for? Because as a collective, governors are getting an extra 13 billion shillings, which is actually more than the 8 billion that is going for the PNP for the UHC workers. What is the difference between the 13 billion that we have added as a Senate and the 8 billion that is under county government's additional allocation? Why can't they use the extra money from the Senate under the equitable share, the 13 billion, to have these UHC workers on permanent and pensionable? And they don't have an answer. So we are growing increasingly frustrated, Honorable Speaker. They are saying that now they can only give 1-year contracts to these UHC workers because their money is coming as a conditional grant. But in the Senate here, we feel we should tie their hands even more, Honorable Speaker. It's very frustrating, to the point where we feel, even here in Nairobi, we should have money set aside and ring-fenced for collection of garbage so that we can see these things happening, for roads and so on and so forth. We don't want to micromanage the counties, but it is grown out of this frustration that we have, Honorable Speaker, that people have gone so long without being paid for work that they delivered. So I am hoping that these conversations can continue and that we can be able to find solutions as a family of devolution to some of these challenges. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Majority Rinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, I want to speak to the topic raised by our colleague, Senator Sigei, just like the senator who spoken before me. Pending bills is a national crisis. And if we are serious as a House, Senator Umtata, and my colleague, Senator Sifuna, ID colleagues who are in the House, we must now forget everything else that we've done and face these governors right in the eye and make a decision as a House. And it is within our powers. A resolution of the House is binding. That's why, Mr. Speaker, if you recall, when Senator Ledama came up with his motion, I felt that we ought to have gone a bit further, despite the fact that we have just concluded the budgeting cycles, that it is still within our powers, Mr. Speaker, to make a binding resolution. You know, if you listen to governors, if you ask your governor colleagues, they'll tell you these are bills that are inherited from Governor so-and-so. But the truth of the matter is that, and I have done the analysis for this, I asked the Parliamentary Budget Office to help me. Almost every governor without fail has, as of now, tripled the pending bill that they inherited in 2022. So it is not true to say that these are historical debt that were incurred either unprocedurally by their predecessors. We should then force, Mr. Speaker, that as a county government, you settle first at least what you've incurred during your term, Mr. Speaker. And this is the last financial year. Otherwise, this will become a vicious cycle that will never end, such that in the next maybe 5 or 10 years, Mr. Speaker, the same crisis of the documents that you've seen Senator Omtata trying to table here on debt, because what is pending bill is just another form of debt, because you've incurred either procedurally and procedurally, Mr. Speaker, and you have not paid for that particular service, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I want to request that when we resume, because today, unfortunately, is our last day before we proceed for a 3-week recess, Mr. Speaker, this matter should be given the priority that it deserves. Because, Mr. Speaker, I listened to people raise concerns yesterday. If you are not careful, because this is an election year, what county governments will do with the money that you've just added, the 13 or 14 billion, Mr. Speaker, is that they will hire more casual workers and things like that for election purposes, where governors now will go from one village and say, who is the most needy person in this particular village, and say, okay, give him a job. And of course, the public will cheer and say, we have a very kind governor, Mr. Speaker. But what will be the import? What will be the import of that decision, Mr. Speaker? Therefore, we must be firm about this particular decision on pending bills and not just limit it to let individual senators, like now what Senator Sige is bringing the attention of what's happening in Bomet to. We must have this conversation wholesomely, Mr. Speaker. And I know for a fact that this is a problem that cuts across all the 47 county governments without fail. And the Budget Committee must lead us, Mr. Speaker. There are solutions which we can ring fence, including passing acts of parliament, Mr. Speaker, further amendments to what we've just concluded, so that at least the people who flood our offices with messages and all these things saying, please speak on our behalf. And they are rightfully doing so because you are a representative of people. And those people include contractors who haven't been paid for services that they've rendered. Mr. Speaker, therefore, I want to move that when we resume mid of July, after today's rise of the House, Mr. Speaker, this matter must be top on the items that we chase viciously. Of course, alongside what Senator Omtata will say, we have denied him the opportunity to do, because I want to hear that well also, Mr. Speaker. It is equally important. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Andy Okech.